This event sucked. This was terrible. This was the worst flop of the year in the sport. All the fights were bad. We could start off with Ring Magazine editor-in-chief Douglas Fisher, who, in case you doubt that there was any noise about this actually being free to the public, this is what he said at the presser that I was at a couple months ago when this got announced.
It's going to be free to the public. Anybody walking by there, anybody there on May 2nd,
It's going to be free to the public. Anybody walking by on May 2nd, today is May 2nd. One more time.
It's going to be free to the public. Anybody walking by there, anybody there on May 2nd.
Okay, so there's some more bookmark tweets that I have because, as you would imagine, we got to be on top of this. We have the NYPD not letting people in. Here's an officer.
Guys, you have to leave. It's not up for debate. You have to leave. The whole area is being shut down. Yes, everybody.
All around?
Yes.
On the next side of the street?
There's a fence over.
Are they closing the business?
Okay.
If you want to watch, I feel like this violates my First Amendment. I really do.
I'm sorry you feel that.
Did you hear the guy? I'm sorry. I feel like this violates my First Amendment, and this dude was like, "I'm sorry you feel that way."
But I mean, think about it. If you're a fan and say you like legit went to New York just for this event, that's what I'm saying.
People traveled to this event from other places just to see that it was blocked off. And here's the other thing, this dystopian nonsense. This was blocked off only for like, quote unquote, the elites, if you will. Like the only people that were actually in attendance were people who were invited. It was VIP shit. So it was other boxers. It was just celebrities. You saw like I Show Speed, who's a very famous streamer. You saw obviously former boxers like Mike Tyson, who was giving just, off rhythm analysis, we'll call it. I don't feel like he was needed on the broadcast, but he's Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? So ultimately, like that's what it was. And then you see like, Shakur is there, and Terrence Crawford's there, and Keyshawn Davis, like all the dudes that Turkey wants to work with. And the whole thing is like, they put this event together to say that they put this event together. They just want to be able to say, hey, we did this in Times Square. That's all this is about. This is a stat. This event sucked. This was terrible. This was the worst flop of the year in the sport. All the fights were bad. On top of that, there were 2 winners on the card tonight who raised their stock and everyone else dropped. What is this bullshit?
They're saying you don't need to celebrate tonight. Like, okay.
There were two winners from this card, 2 people who raised their stock. Rolly Romero, we'll get to him. Shocking upset. And LaVale Whittington, who entered 1-2-1 and was fighting, I forget the Japanese dude's name, making his debut or whatever the case may be, who he didn't get the stoppage that people thought he would. And LaVale Whittington, with some training and some real camps and some funding behind him, if somebody could get behind him, he could actually be pretty good and knock off a couple prospects, I think. But this was dog shit. 3 of the lowest 5 here in terms of punches thrown in a fight, in a 12-round fight. 2 of them rather, were tonight. You have Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero combined to throw 490 punches in a 12-round fight. That's abysmal. And then over here, you have Devin Haney and Jose Ramirez. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia from last year is also on here, which is pretty funny. All right, this sucked. What did you think?
Well, thank you for asking after 5 minutes. And
Listen,
you've been doing your solo show for too long, where you forgot how to be a co-host. Okay, so you need to check yourself because this is a 2-person show, and I don't appreciate that. Okay? So when I tell you to stop, you gotta stop. Okay. I don't know why you thought you could do that. Okay,
this is gonna be an all-time.
I'm gonna warn you right now. Okay, listen, we're both hot. The thing that I'm going to say is I think visually it looked really good.
Sure. Right?
Visually it looked good, except for when you would see that it was small. Like there were not many seats. It was a VIP event. And I feel like if you're a boxing fan that traveled for the event, you're absolutely disappointed. And so not only did everyone lie about this event, but people are upset with how the card went, right? Because we're told, listen, this is the biggest boxing weekend. These are the biggest fights. And you know what? There was a lot of hype leading up to it. But what we saw, not very entertaining. And I don't know why that is. Because these fights, when you actually look at it on paper, it should be pretty entertaining. Now, you know, Haney and Jose Ramirez, I was backing Jose Ramirez, and I think everybody kind of knew that. But here's the thing. I want to go take a shower during that fight. I saw like 4 rounds, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go take a shower. Also, why did this start so early? They didn't think about anybody on the West Coast. This is what legit happened. This is legit my experience. I'm at the gym. Brian is talking shit to me on WhatsApp about this event. And I'm like, oh, no way. So where are we at? And he's like, Arnold Barboza is in the ring. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you talking about? It's like 3:15 here
it's
on the West Coast.
Eastern.
Right? And I freak out.
On a Friday in New York. This isn't in England. This isn't in Saudi. None of those things.
Also, if it's Friday on the West Coast, wherever you are at 3:15, you might still be at your day job.
Right.
If you have a 9 to 5. So I'm like, oh my God, like this is the fight that I actually want to see on the card. So I pull it up at the gym and I'm trying to watch it on my phone. But I'm just like, why? Like, could we not have started this later a little bit? Like, I want to know why. Maybe it was sanctioned by the city, where it had to start at a particular time because it was a live event. And why would you leave your job early to be, you know, behind a blocked cage? I don't know. I don't think I'd leave my job for that. So all in all, I thought it was disappointing. And when it came to the fights, let's get to that now, Brian. Let's start off with Arnold Barboza Jr.
Hold on.
Do you have more?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course. Like this fucking vanity project. Okay. Like they're already doing the thing. And they're going to do the thing. They're going to try to, I'm letting you know right now, boxing fans, they're going to try to social media market their way out of this. They're going to post all the visuals and the clips and fans waiting outside. Fans who I question what some of them were there for. I think some of them were just like, oh shit, we're going to be on camera every, couple hours. Cool. I'll be out here. I don't think everyone was there for a boxing event. I think a whole bunch of people just saw a camera and was like, thirsty to get on camera. That's what I think. When it comes to like this event, just in totality, like this shit was an abomination. And if you look at just the photos from beforehand, you started putting 2 and 2 together. And it's like, okay, the ring is small. There's this big red whatever barrier, we'll call it. And everyone is like, oh, they're going to take that down, right? This is what people were saying on Twitter. And then they're like, no, this is not coming down. This is going to be
was there
the
TVs or screens where people could see the fight? Like, I was curious about that because everything was blocked off.
Supposedly, but I later read, we got to get this confirmed. I later read that wasn't the case because, DAZN probably don't want to give that shit out for free. And at the same time, it's like, yo, one more thing and we'll get to the super chat. They say everything they do is for the fans. And I'm here to tell you that as this TKO shit, this next venture starts getting going or whatever, it's going to be more and more bullshit that fans are going to have to deal with. So this is soft launching all of that now. This is going to get worse, is what I'm saying. Not every event is going to be an abomination like this, maybe. Maybe they'll get it together, whatever the case may be. But when they're fully fledged, like it's just going to get worse and fighters won't make as much also on the top end. But that's another story for another day because we don't give a shit about how much fighters make on this episode.
Honestly, I think this whole event was extremely disappointing. And I think anyone that traveled by the way, Aldapal, thank you for the donation. Always appreciate it. I think anyone that traveled for the event should be disappointed. Anyone that was outside that event that couldn't get in should be disappointed. It was promoted with lies. Like imagine going, I hate this. Okay. Imagine there's a concert, right? In New York. And they're like, J. Cole's going to be there. Kendrick's going to be there.
Fest. Our version of we just have boxing's version of Fyre Fest.
That's what we just had right now, and it's terrible. And you can spew it and try to promote it, saying that it was hella dope. It looked dope, but it just wasn't what it was marketed to be, and it sucks for the fans.
Foxy, thank you. This is my problem now. The Saudi atmosphere is just so bad. Atmosphere is everything in this sport. Yes, because guess what? You think of this, especially during the Rolly and Ryan fight, where we got really the only moment worth of shit the entire night, where Ryan Garcia gets dropped, double left hook, great shot by Rolly Romero. He gets dropped, and the crowd is just kind of like, you hear a few people go, oh, like it happened in a gym in sparring. You know, like we
Yeah.
were in fucking Gleason's or some shit. Gleason's actually would have way more noise. This is what happens when the crowd is just VIP bought, paid for, just like, oh yeah, we're here because we can, we're invited because they want to show off their money. They want to show off they have connections. They want everyone to post it on Instagram and be like, oh, look, you could be here too, if we pay you or whatever the case may be. Like, there's bullshit behind all of this. And it killed the atmosphere of this fight, and it killed the atmosphere of that moment, because if Rolly knocks down Ryan Garcia at Madison Square Garden or at Barclays Center in that round 2,
Or in Vegas,
the crowd is just going ape shit the rest of the round. And the start of round 3, you're gonna hear that curious buzz, and it's like, oh shit, is it? You're gonna hear like murmurs in the crowd, like, yo, what's gonna happen? People are gonna be standing up out of their seats. You know what I mean? They'll still be standing for a long period of time. We didn't get none of that with this shit. We didn't get anything interesting from the crowd at all because of this bullshit bought and paid for crowd. And then you have people like posting, gaslighting everybody. I can't believe I use that term because I typically don't. Gaslighting people, being like, yo, this shit looks amazing, whatever, so happy to be here, because people don't want to tell the truth about this bullshit. And we got robbed of a great moment there that would have made the win bigger for Rolly Romero if we got in that crowd moment. And also the crowd can dictate how you fight, because if Devin Haney is doing what he did coming out the gate, being a track star, he's going to get booed to shit in the first round of the fight. And maybe that puts some pressure on him to actually do something, or maybe it doesn't. We don't know because we didn't get faced with that situation. So like, thank you for that comment about the atmosphere. I went on a little rant there, but like, yeah, we were robbed of a lot, because like the Rolly Romero win would have been that much bigger if there was simply a crowd there. And maybe he actually gets amped up on adrenaline and goes and gets the stoppage.
I think maybe that was one of the reasons why even Ryan, after the fight, post-fight, like there was nothing there, right? Like, this is someone who's usually extremely animated, even when he's being chill, but there was like nothing there. It was just like, okay, I lost. You know what I mean? And I think the crowd had something to do with it. Also, as media guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you are in a media seat or if you're in media at an event, you're not going to cheer.
You're
like,
not allowed to. Although some boxing people still will, because they're not actually media. They just, they're fans who just figured out, oh, I can be media. Oh, okay, cool.
Or sometimes you'll see media like cheer, and you'll be like, you're not real media. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be like, okay, you're
in boxing, you see that a lot.
So that's another thing too. A lot of media there. So you're not hearing the oohs and ahs or like, knock him out. Like, just ridiculous stuff that you hear.